Hey everybody, welcome back to Markers and Monsters. I'm Colin, and sorry I've been away for a while. Unfortunately, in these past couple weeks, my PC's power supply died. Thus, I had no computer access other than on a cell phone, and wasn't able to edit or upload videos, but I'm back on a new laptop, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And what a way to get back into the swing of things than by talking about TerrorVision. This is an awesome 1986 movie, and I love it. I'm going to talk to you all about it today, and we're going to be drawing here in the background the hungry beast that is the main alien monster from the movie TerrorVision. Now, a little bit about the drawing before we get into the movie. As you can see, he's this big, weird, asymmetrical, slimy monstrosity guy. He's got eyes that don't quite match up, one huge, one small. He's got a tentacle with an eye on it. Another tentacle has a claw. This big, dopey-looking mouth that's smiling, tongue sticking out. He's just covered in oozing slime, and he's a really, really goofy-looking monster, but he is also a really friendly-looking monster with that big smile. Now, I'm putting in all kind of vibrant colors here. You'll see blues, yellow, green, pinks. Though the monster is mainly like a reddish beige color in the movie's got a lot of like the 80s excesses of, the vibrant neon color scheme and stuff like that to it. So I kind of know what I capture that a little bit in the drawing. So one thing that's good about a monster like this that's not very precise, you can just go wild with your drawing and put in any colors you want and just kind of slap it together more or less, and it's still going to look okay in the end. You don't really get a great look at the monster in the movie. You definitely see it, but the camera doesn't linger too much. So with a drawing like this, you can just throw in whatever colors you want and how you want, and in the end, hopefully, it'll look good enough for you. But anyway, back to the film TerrorVision. Now, like I said, this is a 1986 film. It's a comedy, horror, sci-fi kind of deal, and it's definitely, I love it because it's a throwback to like the B movies of the 50s, these B monster movies where just some crazy monsters running around, killing people. It's definitely, you could tell that the filmmakers were inspired by that. One of the filmmakers was Charles Band, who would later go on to do Full Moon Entertainment, and they do all the like the Puppet Master movies and just little monsters running around and stuff like that. So this was definitely in his wheelhouse. This was put out well before he started Full Moon Entertainment. This movie was put out by Empire Pictures. And they did a lot of cool horror movies in the 80s as well. The story is really simple, and I think that's what makes it so good. Stanley Putterman has just bought the latest and greatest satellite dish, and he's having it installed in his house so he can get all the channels. And unfortunately, it picks up things from, all over the place, including this alien hungry beast here who was being thrown away with the garbage on the planet Pluton. And I guess on Pluton they vaporize their garbage and beam it into space or something, because his TV happens to pick it up after a weird lightning storm. And the monster kind of lives in the television and comes out. So while he's doing that, he hooks up the TV. His youngest son, Sherman, and his grandpa are going to watch an all-night horror movie marathon hosted by the very voluptuous Medusa. And they watch a bunch of cool old movies like The Giant Claw and stuff like that are on TV when this alien beast isn't on TV. And also their daughter, played by Diane Franklin, who you might know as one of the princesses from Bill and Ted. She was also in Better Off Dead as the main love interest, French exchange student. Diane Franklin, she's going out with her new boyfriend, O.D., who's played by John Grise, who's been in a bunch of things. You might know him as the Wolfman from the Monster Squad, and a couple other cool movies he's in. So anyway, everybody goes out for the night. Sherman and his grandpa are watching TV when this beast decides to materialize. and it's up to basically Sherman to stop it. And as the various people come home from being out and about, they encounter this monster in various ways. So I don't know if I can spoil the movie too much for you guys. I'd love to just talk about every single minute in this movie, but let me just go on to some highlights. I think what makes it is with a simple story, you really allow the characters to play. The actors seem to just be having a great time, and they're not too serious about their roles. Everything's really weird and exaggerated and over the top. Diane Franklin as the daughter, she's got hair that's like a mile tall and covered in all kind of crazy 80s colors. And, her boyfriend OD is this extreme like metalhead punker guy. He's covered in like leather and spikes and stuff like that. The parents are going out swinging, so they bring home another couple. The house also has these weird multicolored pictures of really some risque art there for a family home. Even the grandpa, who's kind of more, I guess, the down-to-earth type. He's an old military guy. He's got a huge bunker in the house filled with like canned goods and rifles and grenades and stuff. And even he wears his like hat is covered in, like toy airplanes and stuff like that. Real crazy and real goofy. That is the big charm of the movie. Just the style of it, and just that everybody's having a good time, having fun. Once again, I got to bring up all practical special effects for the most part. There are a couple of optical effects, like when the crazy lightning, multicolored lightning shoots out of the TV and stuff like that. Of course, they didn't actually make multicolored lightning shoot out of a TV. It was, optical effects like a lightsaber. But the Hungry Beast itself, all actual animatronics, this big puppet and stuff. There's lots of other funky alien creature like puppeting in this movie. It reminds me a little bit of John Carpenter's The Thing in a way, where like the bodies can shift and change and everything's kind of slimy and mutating and all over the place, except with a definite more of a comedic tone to it. It's a lot of this done for laughs rather than pure terror. And that's the other thing about this movie. It's got a great balance of comedy and horror and sci-fi and stuff. So while it's goofy at times when it needs to be serious, it is. At times when it gets too serious, they lighten up the mood with some, weird bits of comedy and stuff like that. And it's just an entertaining sit, good to watch. Now, as I'm putting in these teeth here, which were a huge pain in the butt, it just reminds me just some of the weird things about this creature. I don't know if it was because of the puppet, but you don't really see this thing chomp down on anybody as much as you see it use its weird claw, which is on the left there, that two-pronged thing. It uses that to turn people into slime. Then its tongue can come out and lap up the slime, kind of like a housefly does, or Jeff Goldblum does on occasion. So yeah, very weird in that respect. Like I said, I don't know if the animatronic or the puppet they were using, they couldn't actually it was too fragile to jam a person in the mouth and have it chomp. But there you go. There you go. But yeah, as I'm putting in the rest of the body here too, it's interesting, this thing, you never get quite a good look at it, so you never know exactly what's going on with its body and its shape and what it looks like. You definitely see the face, you definitely see the eyes and the claw and the tentacle, but it doesn't give you a really good idea of exactly what this creature looks like. And I think that's a great way to do practical special effects. There's often like a less is more adage, because you can imagine anything you want. I mean, is the body covered in tentacles? Is the body just like a slimy slug thing? Your mind is going to create a lot more interesting effects than than you could do in the movie, for the most part. And I like that the filmmakers kind of knew that, and they knew too to hide if this thing looks cheap in places, hide them, put them in shadow and stuff like that. There's no harm in that, no foul in that, and I think that shows good filmmaking when you know what to hide and what to show. Now, like I said before, I'm color inking in the eyeball thing there. It's got a tentacle with an eyeball at the end of it, so very weird stuff for this crazy creature. I'd also like to point out that this movie's got just a terrific cast. The main kid is played by Chad Allen, and if you're a huge Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman fan like me, then you'll know him as the oldest of Dr. Quinn's sons. Diane Franklin, who we already talked about, John Grise is great. There's also a couple of incidental characters, the swingers that the parents bring home and stuff like that, and everybody gets great lines and tons of fun. Everybody seems to be really enjoying themselves in this movie. So definitely worth a watch. Some great lines. OD saying that the beast is into metal. He's a metalhead is just terrific. Tons of fun. Now, without spoiling the movie, I do want to talk briefly about the ending. This movie has an ending that I would say I would traditionally not like, but because it's a spoof on B movies and stuff like that, I'm really okay with it. All I'm going to say is if you're getting attached to any of the characters through the movie like I did, you might be a little disappointed, but just have fun with it and enjoy and realize that this thing's got definite B movie overtones to it, and I think that's why they went where they went with the ending. Now, after you watch me dab in some stars here, we're going to sign up the old drawing, and then we're going to take a look at the scan, so let's see what that looks like. Pretty cool. Like I said earlier, this one I just went nuts with the colors, blues, greens, a lot of yellows and stuff like that. Very kind of 80s and wild and weird. So, yeah, excellent. Tons of fun today, guys. If you haven't seen TerrorVision, gotta go out and watch that one. It is a classic. And like I said before, too, sorry I haven't been uploading as much, but now that I'm on a new laptop, which is a lot faster, I'm a lot happier, and I have already some video footage captured that I'll be editing into videos. So stay tuned for all of that, guys. And that's it for me for this time. All right, this was Colin, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Markers and Monsters.
He looked right at my studs and cooled out. This dude's into metal!